Well, I'm still paying my license fee, although I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so loyal. Or is it because I fear being prosecuted, like a lot of people, and so that's why you pay your BBC license fee? Has Donald Trump got the right to sue them? Yes. I watched the election the first time round, the second time round, and I've always known that the BBC have a dislike for Trump. I know they had a hidden agenda to push Kamala Harris. I know that because they were soft on her and with her word salad speeches, and they were highly critical of Trump. So I know that the BBC, as much as they like to say they're impartial, they're down the middle for fairness, they never have been. And I think they're just complete liars. But I'll still pay my license fee until the day comes when I don't have to. Although I have heard that a lot of people have since cancelled their license fees. And what's the BBC going to do? Have they got the funds to go after everybody? No, they haven't, because they've got to get ready now for a huge court case with Trump. All he's got to prove is history. The BBC's history of tampering with people's speeches, cutting and splicing, which we know they did. It was obvious they were doing it. If he can prove that, peace out, everyone. Yep. If he can prove that, he's on his way, isn't he? Although, you know, it's very difficult in America about litigation. It's more difficult in the American system than it is here. But I think he's got a strong case, and I think he may as well push it. And he may as well sort of finally bring to bear what we've all known, that the BBC is certainly not impartial, but they always take sides. And if they take sides, then they're going to do everything they can, and they're going to instruct all their reporters to slant the speeches so that they disgrace their opposition. And that's what they've always done. They did that during the first election. The one in which he was going up against Hillary Clinton, they did that. They also did it against Joe Biden, and we know now that Trump's going to go after proving that election process was rigged and the players that were involved in that. So I think finally, all those people who were labelled as nutcases are going to be proven right. That Trump has a good point. That the mainstream media are the fake press. We've got perfect examples of it. Although I do reference them from time to time, I don't hold them as a true source of truth anymore, not like I used to. And I think that's the same with a lot of people, to be honest with you. Just have a sip of this tea. You've got to drink your tea while it's hot. You can't just let it go cold, can you? It's horrible, isn't it? A warm cup of tea. So they're in panic mode. But they've admitted, haven't they, what they did. And 2 years previously, they did the same again. Now, all Trump's legal team has got to do is find, have they done this to other political opponents? And if they have, cancel your licence fee. Get rid of the BBC, because they're on the way out. They're going to go. As much as you think they can't be touched, that's just not the case. But there is no institution that, no matter how large they are, that is going to remain standing indefinitely. All things come to an end. Currencies come to an end. And that reminds me, whether the US dollar will be the first major currency to collapse. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Time will tell. But I just say that Trump has got definitely a good case against the BBC. And that is why he will be like a dog with a bone. He won't let this one go. And the BBC are in full panic mode now. And so is probably the Labour Party. And it's just a matter of time, isn't it, before they prove previous instances, which I think they will do, especially if they can get hold of that speech 2 years ago, and the previous one, which Trump is just referencing just lately. Excuse me. And if they can find evidence on that, then there's a really, really good chance that he is going to win his case. But you just never know. You know, at the end of the day, it's one legal team up against another legal team. And you see, this is quite damaging, isn't it, to us and America, because we're supposed to be their great ally, and yet here we are at loggerheads with them over this. But I certainly don't support the BBC. No way. You just can't do. You can't support that level of corruption, which is what they are. And they're all pretending that there was no malice and that he didn't lose the election. It didn't affect the outcome in the end. But to cut and splice and to make someone appear that they've said something that they haven't even uttered, well, they said, well, he did utter it, but it just wasn't at the time in which they said it was. It was it 2 hours later that he uttered something different? And that's when they got this idea to bring the two together. And you can tell good video editing, as much as we've got advanced editors out there and brilliant people, for those that watched it live, and I was one of them, I knew at that point there that they were up to some skullduggery. I could tell. But saying it out loud on your Facebook page and on your YouTube page at that time, it just didn't have any weight, because there was just too many powerful people that would have shut you down for saying such a thing. But exoneration is a lovely word, and this is what is happening now to all those. And as regards Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's got a point, hasn't she? Marjorie Taylor Greene's got every right to say, how can you campaign on the basis of releasing the Epstein files, and now, when you're in the seat of power, you don't want to release them? It's a bit hypercritical, isn't it? So let's hope they release those files. And if he's got something to hide, he's got something to hide. And it'll all come out in the wash, as they say, unless, of course, he's inventing another distraction that takes the focus away from that. And maybe the BBC lawsuit could well be that distraction. We'll have to see. It's an interesting world. Peace out, everyone.